Hello, everyone. My name's Ellie. I'm with Herbcraft by Ellie Apothecary. The Emperor. I'm using the Herbcrafters Tarot deck here today for another timeless tarot reading, which means you found it right on time. It could be about past, present, or future. We're also going to switch it up with archetypes, oracle after the tarot. And I might be trying something different at the end of this. Well, I will be. I don't know if I'll include it in the recording. Ace of Air. For those of you that don't know, I am a psychic medium empath, and I have been guided, Ace of Cups, to expand on those skills. So if I decide to keep it in, you may get to experience something different at the end of this message. If not, well, just know that I'm practicing some new skills in a safe environment, of course. I hope you're doing well. And I am ready to get in if you are. Let's see why you are here. Why are you here today? Mother of Air. 1-to-1 on the timestamp. Note any angel numbers if they ring true to you. Look them up. 1-to-1 always means a conversation about something. So you could be having a conversation about something. The moon could have to do with something that you've been feeling for a long time. 144 on the timestamp. High of Water. Page of Cups. Something to do with some kind of intuitive hits. Could also be about your psychic skills. 204 on the timestamp. The Hermit. You've gone inward. You have deep wisdom on this. 211. Assistance is coming. Claim it if you want it. 214. And love is available to you. 217. Keep your thoughts positive. Star. You've done the healing work. So you're here because you want to expand your psychic gifts. Justice. You know that this is correct for you. There's some kind of healing you have done because you've gone inward and you are aligned to receive some kind of truth and some kind of gift from spirit when it comes to emotional fulfillment or heart fulfillment. 'Cause remember, we got that Ace of Swords and Cups at the beginning. All aces are blessings. Claim them if you want them. And thank you so much for appreciating me in my natural state today. I did not put on makeup. I didn't feel like it. 3 of Fire. We're expanding here, and I believe you are too. Show up as you are. Spirit's telling me to tell you that. Be authentic. 8 of Fire. Some kind of quick movement is happening here. Get ready for a big change. Come as you are. Nothing is a mistake in these readings, but of course, always take what resonates and leave the rest behind. 333, 9 of Cups again with the Queen of Swords. So, you want to speak your truth about something. Perhaps you've had your guard up about some kind of quick movement and expansion. Maybe you haven't felt ready to do so. What do you have to say about that, Spirit? Again, with the 3 of Fire, 3 of Wands. Perhaps you're thinking very carefully on what you want to express, how you want to expand. You've been waiting or anticipating some kind of expansion and change here for a long time. Let's go to archetypes real quick and see what Spirit has to say from the Oracle, the Underworld. Now, we pulled the Moon card earlier, and before I hit record and I was shuffling my deck and getting into the energy, I saw the Sun and the Moon, Temperance, 9 of Cups, and then we started this reading with the Emperor. So there is a divine balance here between what is seen and unseen. You are prepared for any aspect of what is seen and what is unseen. You've already planted the seed. I did see Seven of Pentacles in the pre-shuffle as well. That's about investing, planting good seeds, trusting the process. And Temperance, as some of you know, can represent divine timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart, things you have wanted to manifest. Three of Wands can represent waiting for your ships to come in. So the cave, going inward about something that you have set a strong foundation on with the stone. And then we have the sword. One of our readings not that long ago, we had the sword and the stone, and I mentioned that Arthurian legends could be relevant to you. 556 was on the timestamp. So we have successfully completed some kind of change and transformation here. Okay. Something about the cave. I'm going to read into this. Oh, interesting. You know, I just realized there are eyes. You know what that reminds me of? 622 on the timestamp. The never ending story. What is it? It's not the nothing. It was the creature that followed and stalked Atreyu, that tried to destroy the hero on its journey. The cave. There are many mysterious and dark things in the space of the unknown. Yes, you can fear it or you can see through it. You can find your way through. For those of you on a spiritual quest and journey, this is something you can develop safely over time with your spiritual team. I'm going to read into this for a second. Holding the hands close to the chest. It's like pointing at rest. Being at ease, at rest, and with the nothingness. Something has been sleeping for a long time within you. Something primordial. A faded sun, a faded light. Shines bright. Starting to go into a trance a little. That's one of the things that Spirit wanted me to practice with. So if at any point I kind of slur my words or drift off, it's my psychic gifts putting me into a mild trance. I do that when I read into these cards. It's a form of channeling if you don't know that. The cave. 32 XXX2 32 32 5 March 2nd, age 32. Integration, partnership of the nothingness. Becoming one with nothing brings you everything. Okay, let's go back to the tarot. Perhaps I will read from the book, maybe not. I feel like today is going to be strongly intuitive. Sustainer was on there as well, which we pulled in an oracle message a while back. Empress again. What are you nurturing in the dark? When no one's looking, what are you nurturing? The Hierophant. What are you guided to seek? Before you can lead others in the dark, you have to know how to navigate it. 10 of Pentacles, 944 on the timestamp. Another 10 here. 10 of Air, come out of betrayal and see that what you have to offer is so much more than emptiness. The Tower. This is an epiphany for some of you. This is a huge upheaval to everything you've ever known. Four of Cups. You haven't seen it coming. Some of you, this is a spiritual awakening, which I do guide others on. Hermit, that's why you have been in on your own, discovering this, or some of you are entering again, past, present, or future. Okay? The Hermit goes inward. They study, they learn. They also guide others. The original Hermit in one of the original tarots, Rider Waite, Ace Cups again, divine blessings of love or fulfillment or creativity. Finding self-love is a big one for a lot of people in order to nurture, which means facing the dark, right? Facing the shadow, doing the spiritual work that you know is necessary in order to move forward, even if you don't understand why you feel intuitively led to do something. Nine of Pentacles, sustainability, great fortune, independence, the ability to master your craft, not only do what you love, but actually see the benefit of it. Again, you've planted good seeds. You've planted a seed. We saw that earlier. And it's something you did in the dark. And also remember, what is done in the dark comes to light. That can have a negative, positive connotation, a neutral one. Typically, it's a negative one because it's talking about people who are working in the shadows, thinking they're getting away with something. And then it is being revealed to the light because divine justice is actually a thing. But in this case, it's what you have done. And look at that. You can't make that up. Seven of Pentacles right there. What you've invested in, what you've done when nobody else is looking. This is the seed you planted. What did you plant when nobody was looking? That's what Spirit's going to judge you on in the future. And judgment doesn't have to be bad, okay? Spiritual judgment is whatever it is. Your karma is whatever it is that you created. So know that regardless of what you did in the past, what you invested in, what you focused on, what you know went into the dark, you can make choices today to do differently. Good, bad, in between, whatever. Or you can blow it off. You can blow the whole thing off by all means. I don't know why you're at a spiritual reading if you want to, though. Some of you want to collaborate, and this is going to help you do that. It's going to help you build something sustainable. Three of Pentacles. For some of you, this is something new that you're learning how to do. It could also be building something new in the physical world. We did have the Nine of Pentacles here. So we went from the 9 to the 3. So some of you are learning how to do a skill that you've already learned, but to do a different aspect of it and perhaps bringing in different people. So going into the dark, going into hermit mode has helped you rehone your skills, gain wisdom, clear the path so you can plant new seeds. And part of it is this new building that you're doing. Three wands again. I mean, come on, more expansion, right? And again, this is usually someone standing on a cliff looking out at ships coming in or looking to go out and travel. It's not all about receiving. Sometimes it's about planning. Well, Two of Wands is more about planning the course ahead, and Three of Wands is getting ready to take that journey, right? And Wands are spiritual, they're action, they're fire, they're quick. Some of you are very motivated to take action on this. You've already set intentions. You know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let's go back to Oracle. Just going to jump around, channel a little, do all this. The Kiss. And again with the Sword. Again with the hand holding. Some of you have learned how to do this. 1500. The devil card is coming to mind, card 15 in the tarot. And the devil is about temptations, it's about bad habits, it's about toxic behaviors, people, etc., obsessions. But the light side, again, we're talking about the dark and the light here, the duality of things and the in between, the gray, is mastery, because the astrological sign that is associated with card 15 of the devil is Capricorn, right? And if you go back to the original artwork that was constructed for the devil by the Christian church, it was using pagan archetypes, horned gods like Pan, there's also Serenus, and et cetera, et cetera. We could go on and on. Now, paganism is not necessarily the same thing as Satanism. Satanism is actually not even what Christians deem Satanism. I'm not a Satanist, but I've had friends who are Satanists, and I've had friends who are pagan. I've had friends who are Wiccan. I have had friends that are Christian. I've been Christian. I am pagan. I believe in God. Hello, the world is a unique, interesting place. Open your mind and see what comes out. The kiss. The universe wants to give you some love through this wisdom, through what you want to build. It's something you want to grow here with the crescent moon. And for some of you, it's about sharing it with another. Perhaps this thing you want to build is a life with somebody. The sword, to me, is the duality of truth. Again, we were talking about black and white in between. It's like yin yang with color in it, right? That reminds me of the Ace of Swords, which we had in the beginning. The lightning strike and epiphany. Oh, there's a kitty whisker on that. The kitties have blessed this card. That's cool. So here, the sun has been cut out of the sky and brought to the dark. Okay, so you've found light in the dark. And the moon here is with the sunset. I think that's the sunset. It could be the sunrise. Have you ever seen the moon in the middle of the day? I have. Out here on the mountain, I see the moon sometimes in the middle of the day in the sky, just like clear. You see the sun and the moon all at once. We had the sun and the moon earlier. Illumination versus the shadows. Being able to access either with the truth. 1755 on the timestamp. Some of you just had a big idea that has brought this illumination. I'm going to set that aside. The kiss. Some kind of antiquated vision, 1822 on the timestamp. Look at all that grain. Reminds me of a film photograph. Any of you do film photography? I used to. My camera was a Pentax K1000 from the 1960s. It had the original hippie band on it. It was my father's. And yes, I still have it. And yes, it still works. Anyways, just a little fun thing about me. But that reminds me of nostalgia. It reminds me of some antiquated vision I'm hearing of love for some of you, 1855 on the timestamp. But for a lot of you, this is about spirit holding your hand through the dark. See, it's all here with the dark. Revealing the hidden truths of the subconscious of what you really want. And some of you are reflecting on the past to get there. This is card 60, I believe. I believe L is 50, and of course X is 10. So 6, the age 60, the 6th day, 6 level ups, 6 level. Oh, now I'm starting to. Okay. Interesting. The father. 6 generations on your paternal line. Again, with the duality of the dark and light, the color and the black and white, finding the in between, the wealth and the illumination. legacy. Capricorn represents the father. We will be having the Capricorn full moon, and this is a timeless reading, but if you're catching it in real time, we always have a Capricorn full moon in Cancer season, which is coming up very soon. So that could be significant for some of you in real time. And if you're catching this later, look to the next Capricorn moon, which you can find out the moon signs in a astrological ephemeris, or Google it, or however you prefer to look at it, right? Moon sign changes usually every 2 to 3 days, sometimes every four, sometimes every day and a half. Okay. And it goes around the 12 different signs, and also 2044 on the timestamp. Some of you might not know this, but there is a new and full moon of every sign every year. Okay. So whatever sign the sun is in, I'm also a professional astrologer, whatever sign the sun is in, we were talking about the sun and moon earlier. So right now we are in a Gemini sun. We just had the full moon in Sagittarius, which was the polar opposite. So whatever the full moon is in the sun sign that it currently is the opposite sign to what the sun is in. I hope you got that. So next month, it makes sense that Capricorn, being Cancer's polar opposite, would be a full moon in the sun peaking in Cancer, which is always a highlighted time of looking at childhood and paternal lineage, ancestry, the way you were raised, the way you want to build a legacy and nurture it between the mama and papa within. We had the emperor and the empress, which represents divine feminine, divine masculine. And if you come into a place of mastery within yourself, you will be able to accomplish both, be able to activate the receptive, nurturing, grow anything you want with the divine feminine empress. 2202 is on the timestamp, or take action, develop, build as the emperor, divine masculine. And since we have a huge focus here on the black and white, the color, the in between, we also had the self here, which I didn't pull, but it was still there. All that color there, the prism of yourself, right? Notice the self is black, is in the dark, and all this light is around you. You are a fractal, multidimensional being. You are not just one thing. Expand. Three of Wands. Expand. Okay? Ah, yes, the sword. We're talking about that. Okay. And the thread. Your fate. Do you believe in fate? Do you believe in destiny? Do you think it's all a cosmic joke with the comic here? What do you believe? And perhaps that's the foundation you're building. The desert. I'm getting chills. That came up in a recent oracle reading as well. You can find those in the Divine With Me playlist, which is always linked in the description box with other readings and information. The unseen and the threshold. Some of you about to cross a threshold that you didn't see coming. And for a lot of you, it has to do with your beliefs. It's going to help you build something in this world you didn't expect. Some kind of truth with Alethea. Black and white right there again. The duality. I just released a shadow message not that long ago that is titled something like Spirit and matter are singular, not dualistic. I'll probably have it linked at the end of this video or one of my recent videos again in the playlist. The orphan. Some of you have been feeling abandoned without hope for a long time, and it's interesting. I pull it on the healer too, and both of these have snakes on them. Shedding is one thing, Kundalini activation is another. It's going to resonate for different people in different ways. Okay. Some of you are embracing the wounded healer within. Okay. Speaking of, if you are watching this in real time, Chiron is transitioning into Taurus within this week. So Chiron represents the wounded healer, and it has been in Gemini for a while. Okay. So if you have whatever placements you have Taurus in your chart, you might want to look at, because that's how your wounds could be activated. You also may want to look at your exact Chiron placement in order to decipher where your wounds are, also the house that it rules. Okay. I personally am actually excited about this transit because I had Chiron in Gemini. So I just closed out my wounded healer era. So good job to you if you also had Chiron and Gemini and you healed that. I'd be very interested to hear what house you have yours in. I've talked about this in the Mystic. This is how we learn to share our medicine, our consciousness, our psyche, our healing gifts with the world, is when we master them. When you master your wounds, Nine of Wands is coming to mind. Five Swords too. You become the medicine. You become the mystic. What do you want to do with that? What do you want to build? Also, that's a beautiful card. Transforming into it with the butterfly. Sacral energy. Again, with the Kundalini here, we were talking about that. The healer, the mystic. Some of you, this is part of your purpose, your path. That's why you're going into the dark. Thanatos, interesting. And the shaman. Okay, yeah, some of you are definitely medicine healers. Welcome. Some of you are channels, the vessel. Seems we have a lot in common. Welcome to the community. Subscribe if you'd like. Thanatos, I did a channeled message on this at the beginning of the year, February, before the year of the fire horse began. Okay, you can find that in the playlist. Also, my oracle and channeled messages. And it had both this and Aletheia in it. And it had a couple different channels that came off of that. So you may be interested in reading. Sure, reading about Thanatos, the god of death, or looking into scorpionic themes, which also rules transformation, which we had the butterfly. So perhaps looking at your Scorpio placements can also help you. 2733. Yeah, mystic. All right. So what I'm going to do now is, for those of you that enjoyed this read, thank you. Like, comment, share, subscribe. It does get the messages out into the algorithm, which grows the community. And I may cut this message off here, so I'm just going to say goodbye for now. Thank you for coming by. Check out the playlist, check out my other videos, share in the community, and book personal with me. I've got a waiting list, but more reason to get on sooner than later. And for the rest of you, if you decide to stay, I'm going to try something I've never done before. 2818 on the timestamp. So thank you so much for coming. And for some of you, it's time to leave the desert. It's time to come out of your drought season. That was another one of my recent readings. Check that out if you'd like. All right. So for those of you that are leaving, bye. It's nice to meet you. All right. For those of you that stayed, I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. All right. For those of you that have checked out my messages before, you may know that I channel in a trance sometimes, and these oracle cards really stimulate for me. And I'm already feeling my words start to slur. So I recently found out with a recent ascension that I not only am I a psychic medium, but my gifts have expanded. And for those of you that don't know anything about mediumship, it's not just about being able to commune with spirits. Okay, it's not just about passed on loved ones. It's about being able to connect with multiple energies and entities, spirit consciousness in general, the astral realms, the afterlife, the flame, the eternal source and spark of life beyond matter. I am hearing. I will do a video on exactly what mediumship is some other time. I don't feel like that's what I'm supposed to do here, but I'm going to meditate on the flame. So, some of you may want to actually meditate on a flame if you are interested in accessing your mediumship gifts. I will say what a psychic medium is versus the mediums you typically see on ghost hunting shows, for example. A psychic medium sees and senses information in their mind's eye. Okay, so it's kind of like channeling with cards. You're picking up on psychic information from multiple sources. And if you are doing this, you want to set strong protections. And I'm guessing anybody who's here that knows anything about anything, or you read cards, you do any of that, you know to set strong protections. I only channel with the highest and greatest good that are also my direct spiritual team. I do not work with any dark entities. I do, however, work with gods and goddesses that have dualistic nature, but I set the intention that it's only what is for the highest and greatest good, my highest and greatest good, because I am a guide, I'm a teacher, I'm a mentor, and I want to make sure that not only I am safe, but others are safe. Okay. You can also psychically mediumship, you can connect with animals, animal spirits, and mythological and magical creatures. There are so many realms and dimensions beyond what you think is possible. Most people, I'm not saying you specifically, but I felt like that was for some. Angels, I channel the angels a lot. Mary Magdalene has come to me often, and I'm not comfortable disclosing more on that. I'll just say that there are certain higher beings and guides that have come to me to work with me because of my path, which has ascended. Okay. So the flame. I'm going to go into a meditative state, and I've never done this on camera. This is my first session. And again, I am unsure if I'm actually going to share this or not. I do have Saint Germain's Violet Flame playing on the background for additional protection. If you don't feel comfortable, thank you for stopping by. So let's see what happens. You ready? All right. The flame, the spark, the triangle, the peak, we seek 3303 on the timestamp. Beyond the liminal, beyond the logical, beyond the dim glow of the horizon, you have been encapsulated in a shroud of your ancestors. Your base has gone low here, but you still flow. You still ascend. You still hold up your flame in the peaks and valleys and shadows and shallows of human mind. You encompass, you elaborate, you extend, you don't pretend. This is true authenticity. The inner spark, the flame, that is spirit, that is consciousness beyond life and death. Your essence, your flame, your soul. Two flames, twin flames. Some of you have another. And I, as myself, as a person, do not speak on these titles and concepts, so this is purely from spirit. I'm still learning how to release the ego when I channel, so I had to add that note because I am still slightly resistant. I am human, but I'm speaking from spirit right now. Spirit wants some of you to know that you have a twin flame. Spirit, must we? I don't speak on these things because attachments are made, and such a thing is a rare occurrence. And they're going to have me talk about the mythology. Oh boy, here we go. All right. Some of you have wanted to understand this more, so I'm going to just stop blocking the flow and let it go. All right. Not many have a twin flame. It is not just a soul that is like yours. It is not just a soul that is born to be yours. It is not a struggle. It is not karmic. It is not a fight. It does not starve. It does not delight. It is a mirror reflection of you and your soul. A soul that is ancient, that has reincarnated beyond time after time after time, centuries, millennias. When they reach a certain evolution of the soul and they have come close to meeting a peak, they split into two to save time, or to grow the consciousness of the soul, the spirit, the spark, exponentially. Ambitious? Yes. But with age and wisdom comes beauty and grace. Hence, divine counterparts of divine feminine, divine masculine, gender nondescript. A soul is a soul, a body is a body, an identity is what the ego creates. Remember that. There are ravens right outside my window that are cawing very loudly, so that was confirmation. The mythology of the twin flame is that, and not everyone is meant to incarnate with their twin flame in this life or meet. And ascended souls, advanced old souls are, which is very rare, able to come together in a physical union. That their spirits are always connected through their entire existence. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm extremely uncomfortable talking about this topic as a human, because there are people who have exploited this title. There are people who mistake spiritual unions when they're actually in limerence. Okay. I'm also an advocate. So even though I'm channeling for spirit, I feel it necessary to ground this into reality and remind you that this is a rare spiritual union. And this is a challenging spiritual union because you have to reach a certain peak, not only in your soul, but in this lifetime. And both halves of the same mirrored soul have to come into union, have to fulfill your spiritual purpose, your highest potential. And there are people who say, are there different kinds of twin flames and all that? We're not going to go there. You have to have ascended to the point where spiritual divine essence has matched, has aligned, where your frequencies are so close that you can come together. Spirit, I don't know if I want to share this because a lot of people get caught up in the hope, but I'm going to shut up now and I'm going to back up and let spirit take the lead again. All right, spirit, what do you want to say about this? The world needs more union, not disharmony. The world needs more collaboration, not separation. The world doesn't realize that we are not separate, we are one. We are all aspects of the same, like the prism, like the self earlier. If you think that is a far off concept to be two aspects of one soul in two bodies, imagine your mind expanding to the possibility that we are all aspects of the same source. Which means if we are all aspects of the same source and we are all pinging off of each other's growth with our growth, what are we teaching ourselves and each other? Through the experience of consciousness, are we expanding or are we shrinking? Are we killing each other in soul and spirit? Or are we giving birth to new versions of ourselves, which means as a whole, we are complete? This message is not about twin flames. This message is about the soul. You are the flame, and so is everyone else. Some feed off of others' flames, not knowing that they are feeding off of themselves. Some put their flame out, which means they snuff others too. Which aspect of the soul do you see yourself in today? Is it the light? Is it the dark? Or is it both? Can you expand past the possibility of nothingness to understand that everything is something? That nothing is purely dark and nothing is light. When you pass on from this life, you are not dead. You do not end. Where do you think immortality comes from? Awaken and shine bright. Chills. The tear. Grieve the old self because the new one was just born, shaman. When you learn to access the lower, the middle, and the upper worlds, you learn to travel between heaven and earth. You learn to see the consciousness from multidimensional aspects, not singular aspects of the ego mind of, oh, I got to do this today, so that makes me this today. Oh, I got to respond to this person this way because that's the way they are. Instead of realizing that you are them and they are you and everything is all the same and absolutely nothing alike. There's a reason for that. And yeah, some of you think this is psychobabble. My question to you is, why are you here? Do you know? Do you know why you're here in general? Have you asked yourself these questions? Are you willing to bridge the gap between the here and the there and the heaven, the earth, the lower, the middle, the upper realms? Are you yourself a psychic bridge? Or are you the comic? Are you the fool? Because the fool gets a new start. The fool doesn't make fun of others, and the fool isn't the joke. The fool is the new beginning, is the newborn. Every life we are reborn. Every life we experience anew. So, are you willing to be reborn? I think that's where we're going to cap it. The orphan. You are not alone. Parent yourself, and Spirit's here to help you and guide you as well. Okay. Get out of the box. You are the prize, the medallion. Ascension path reading from a couple months ago. 4430. You are not alone. The medallion. You are the prize. That's another channeled message. Check those out in the playlist. And this is Ellie. Thank you for stopping by. 4444. That's all I have to say.